All right. I hope it is accurate. So from our side, we started with mentioning some of the challenges with regards to digitalization of seeds. And first of all, as you can see, that the understanding of digitally sequenced information, that is DSI, was gathering from the presentation that was given to us by Million, and what it means for African farmers. So one of the opportunities is that the seeds can be mapped, sequenced, and stored digitally as DSI, which I've mentioned is digitally sequenced information. But it has a risk where data centers cost so much, up to $20 million, and it consumes an equivalent of an entire day's supply of water, especially to cool the data center machines, and it also requires a huge outlay of energy for it to operate. Cloud computing is an opportunity which enables storage of thousands of seed varieties data without physical space. But the downside to it is that global frameworks such as CBD, Nagoya, ITP, govern only physical seeds and not necessarily digital sequence data. Also, GPS and AI can locate and characterize and also simulate seed sequences up to 89 and 90% accuracy. This is one of the areas that can be utilized in order to digitize data on seed varieties. But now the problem is that CDSI can be copied and accessed and used without community consent or benefit sharing for that matter. And also data is the new oil. As you can see, it is very valuable at the moment. But the problem also is that Africa is advancing very slowly, and while the technology is moving very fast, there is also a risk of Africa being left behind. So some of the strategies and key activities that we identified, strategy number one was on building institutional capacity, where we identify, as part of the activities, we identify and map capacity gaps at all levels. So here we also tend to look at the people who have the capacity, those who do not have, and linking them together to find synergies. Mobilize resources for training programs, organize capacity building events, including even for the media, because sometimes when media reports on farm management systems, they may not necessarily be doing it from a level of knowledge, as much knowledge that is in this room. So probably they will also need capacity enhancement for them to report on farmer management systems, and also just about seed in general. Taking from farmer level up to universities, this is now looking at a broad spectrum of capacity building, and then also developing local expertise in data management. And then the second part is institutionalizing legal frameworks, where we advocate for digital sovereignty laws nationally. Remember, we kept saying that in as much as we are looking at a continental front, we need to domesticate some of these things, so we begin the fight from the national level. And then align with also global frameworks. So where there needs to be reformation, then we need to advocate for that as well. Introduce benefit sharing mechanisms where not only the researchers or people who are well-placed can benefit, but also just for the local farmer. And then strengthen intellectual property rights protection at national level, and engage policy makers and legal experts. Number 3 is on mapping, catalog, and protection of our seeds, where we need to create national seed catalogs as the foundation. Because we do realize that at the moment, maybe there may be insufficient data, or data is very much scattered, so we need to centralize them first. And a starting point is on having like a national seed catalog, where we know that these are the seeds that we do have at a national level, and then now we begin building structures from there. And then self-digitize seeds before others do. Also linking it with the intellectual property rights issue. So one of the things that we ought to do, first of all, is begin in-house, so that once others begin to come into the space, we are already well set. And then also we need to apply free, prior, and informed consent in the workings in how we are dealing with this whole issue of digitizing seed data, and also establish criteria for access to seed data. And this also leads to the last point, where we need to manage classified and tiered access. One of the things that we were mentioning is that once we digitize, it's just going out there, anyone has access and you cannot link to it. And because it's a food security issue at national level, then every government needs to put strategies in place in order to know who needs access to certain seed data. One of the participants did mention that in Burkina Faso, when anyone is going to do research within a community, there is usually some kind of supervision from a national commission, so that they know this data that is being collected at a particular point, where is it going and for what benefit. And number 4 is also advocacy at AU and also global level, where we need to push the African Union to champion the rights, mobilize national leaders and heads of state, forbid copyright of community seed data, create exchange platforms where we link up producers, leaders, and also researchers. And then also we need to secure national budgets for bio-digitalization. And then the roles, when we're looking at the roles at the CSO level, we look at advocacy for digital sovereignty laws, monitor compliance of data usage, connect communities to global policy forums, support free, prior, and informed consent implementation, document and publicize community civil rights, and also bridge the gap between farmers and also institutions such as us and even government institutions. For farmer organizations, they need to lead national seed catalog efforts, establish community-owned seed data centers, and also define access criteria for seed BSI. Manage benefit sharing agreements, and also claim ownership of digitized seed data. And then there is also participation in decision-making processes. For the youth, in terms of bridging technology knowledge gap, building digital literacy chains in communities, develop local data management tools, operate community digital seed archives, engage in IT and data security training, and also champion BSI rights in youth networks. For women, we are looking at them as key custodians of neglected and minor seeds, because a lot of our societies, they only focus on the staple food, the major foods, and these neglected seeds are an opportunity for us to first of all secure them before they can probably get stolen. Build community seed saving practices and present community interests in negotiations. We also ensure benefit sharing with households. Participate in seed mapping exercises, advocate for gender equity and seed rights. So maybe because it's 30 seconds, I'll do this for people to just view and give their input.
For the call of action, we can just go. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Okay. In terms of partnerships, we're looking at IT experts and data scientists. For the technical partners, knowledge partners, we're looking at universities, research institutions, and also political economists in this regard. For legal, lawyers, policy makers, innovators, AU representatives, and also for advocacy partners, we are looking at civil society, farm organizations, media, community leaders. For the call to action, we start national seed catalogs before others digitize our heritage, secure national budgets for digitalization, capacity and awareness, define data in our context, and set tiered access controls, I believe, and then also push AU to champion digital sovereignty for seeds, advocate for equity in all USI collection and sharing, and then also build an African-led seed data commons, which are community and governance. That was our team. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I think William has touched on most of them, so probably just one. There was one who asked on the catalog whether it's for us to develop a national catalog or it's the job of specific people. So probably even from how we have been championing issues to do, especially from the national or continental level, it is also upon us because we are the ones who are probably better placed and have access, or we can bridge the gap between farmers and policy makers. We are supposed to be the ones who are champions for the development of these catalogs. So we may not necessarily develop, but we do hold great knowledge for us to be able to lead the ones who are set with the task of doing so at national or regional level. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the group. And we go for